The Sun and the physically impossible globe Earth. Does that statement trigger you as a viewer?
Today we will have a listen to the Flat Earth fool Leo, level Earth observer, who is confused about the Sun and the Moon.
The Sun and the physically impossible globe Earth. Does that statement trigger you as a viewer?
No, it amuses me because it's so damn stupid.
If it does, ask yourself why. If it does trigger you.
It don't trigger me, but it's not my problem that you believe in flat Earth, Leo. It's yours.
You continue to believe the globe Earth if you cannot refute that statement with some kind of physical demonstration.
And what physical demonstrations have you done to prove your fantasies about a flat Earth, Leo?
You need to address things within yourself and understand yourself better.
I have no problem to understanding myself, but I have a problem understanding how a person can be so stupid so they believe in a flat Earth.
To help improve your discernment of things that really are quite simple to evaluate and understand, really. But because of the psychological barriers in place put there by the education system and of course emotional attachments, people struggle. So think about that as a viewer here, a globe believer. Why you believe something that's physically impossible, the way you justify it is to attack strawman maps and models and concepts, but you have to ignore the physicality of the Earth.
And the flat Earth have never been proven. You don't have a working map. You can't explain how things works. Gravity, how the sun and the moon and the stars works. You have nothing, Leo.
It's worrying, guys. It is. The psychology and the defense mechanisms that are on show here. And the dishonesty, quite frankly.
Dishonesty, and that comes from a flat earther that claims something he can't prove. A fool that talks about scientifically proven, but he'd have never done any observations himself.
Anyway, let's get to the subject of the video. The Sun. We've already discussed the globe's impossible physically. Everyone proves that themselves. Every globe believer proves that through non-citation of any kind of physicality. Now, I'm in the privileged position with my job as a tower crane operator. I get to do lots of observations of the sky, whether it be the sun, and in some cases, rainbows. And we'll touch on that in a minute because that is a fascinating subject. But the sun is also an interesting one when you do observations at the same time from elevated positions like tower cranes in quite close proximity. For example, one on the screen here at the bottom and two on the screen at the bottom are tower cranes. Tower crane 1 is me. Tower crane 2 is a mate of mine who's just under a mile away, 0.9 of a mile away from me, to my right and slightly set back.
So we have 2 tower cranes and then 2 suns? I don't get it.
Now, when we did observations of the sun at exactly the same time, tower crane 2 was seeing the sun in the position of 2, whilst tower crane 1, myself, was seeing the sun in position number 1.
And can you present any evidence for this strange observation? Of course not. Even if you have a small and local sun, you don't have that difference in angles on 1 mile between the tower cranes.
There was a discrepancy of 45 degrees.
And do you have any evidence for that silly statement?
Essentially, my mate was seeing the sun 45 degrees out from where I was seeing the sun. And yet he's just under a mile away from me as the crow flies. So explain to me, globe believers, or anyone who claims to know something relevant, physical, about the sun, how does that work on any model?
So Leo wants us to explain his fantasies. Oh dear.
We know the sun's apparent anyway, but 45 degrees out? Based on two viewers who are just under a mile apart? I've known this for a long time.
I have to correct you. You have had these fantasies for a long time.
But how does that work? Do these observations yourself. I believe it was Jake the Asshole who suggested the sun is very much a personal experience.
So Jake the Asshole is your source for this nonsense. I'm not surprised. And in the comments section to the video, Flat Earthers believes this nonsense. One of them, of course, Taboo Conspiracy. Let's move to another video. This time it's the moon.
The mysterious moon and the impossible globe. Now, last week I talked about the sun and how we view it seemed to be very much an individual experience.
That's only in your fantasy. And Taboo Conspiracy's fantasies.
And some people commented that perhaps maybe we should do a mass observation of the sun. And that's something perhaps we could look at maybe a little bit later in the year. I believe Antonio Subarats did that, may he rest in peace, a few years back.
Seriously, do you think he was a source for any kind of serious information about the sun? Oh dear.
So that's definitely something we could look at. But something more immediate is the moon. And it would seem it's very much the same regarding the moon. How we view it is very much an individual experience. And I'm going to encourage you, the next full moon, which is the 14th of this month, I'm going to encourage you to do some observations of the moon and move about a bit.
So, you claim that we have a personal moon too, not only a personal sun.
The moon is a very strange one. We get observations like the one we've got on our screen here, where we've got Venus seemingly being seen through the moon.
How do you know that it's Venus we see? Because I'm sure that you didn't take this image, and it's quite possible that it's the moon and Venus. And the explanation for that is quite simple. This image is probably taken through a window, and the moon is reflecting in the window, and then you get this effect. So this is too damn stupid, and Level Earth Observer loves to tell us that he have proven scientifically that the globe is impossible. And did he show any evidence at all for his claims about the sun or the moon? Of course not. Okay, now I can't stand more of Leo's nonsense, so I will end the video here. I'm not sure when I'll be able to make another video, but still, I will see you soon. Have a nice day. Bye.